All right, let's jump straight into this explainer. Have you ever looked at a massive suspension bridge or, say, a towering skyscraper and just totally marveled at the framework? Well, you are walking around right now in a structure that's honestly way more sophisticated than any building on Earth. It's an absolute marvel of biological engineering. I mean, seriously, imagine yourself for a second without a skeleton. Without that internal scaffolding, you'd basically just be a floppy blob on the floor. You wouldn't be able to stand, walk, or even hold up your own head. It's this system that gives us our shape, our form, and the total freedom to actually interact with the world around us. And here's kind of a wild number for you. A newborn baby enters the world with about 300 individual bones. But as we grow, a lot of those smaller bones actually fuse together. So by the time you're an adult, you're left with exactly 206 bones. It's just a highly efficient system that quite literally pieces itself together as we grow up. So, here's our quick roadmap for today's explainer. First, our body's hidden framework. Second, the core protection system. Third, limbs, girdles, and movement. Fourth, the magic of joints. And finally, keeping your skeleton strong. Okay, starting off with section 1, our body's hidden framework. Just like a skyscraper absolutely needs a meticulously designed steel frame to stand tall, our internal organs rely on this interconnected framework for support. Your skeletal system isn't just some random pile of bones. It is a highly specific arrangement. From the skull down through the backbone, out to the rib cage, the limbs, and the girdles, every single bone has a very specific place and a really critical purpose. Moving right along to section 2, the core protection system. Think of the skull as your most critical piece of biological armor. It's a hard framework totally dedicated to protecting your brain, your eyes, and your inner ears. It's actually made up of 8 flat cranial bones that interlock, almost like puzzle pieces, and 14 facial bones that give you your unique look. What's super fascinating here is that almost all of these bones are completely fixed in place, like a solid helmet. The only exception is your lower jaw, which acts like a hinge so you can talk, chew, and, express yourself. Working our way down from the skull, we hit the central support column of your whole body, the spine. And the spine isn't just one long, stiff rod. Instead, it's built from 33 individual, unfused bones called vertebrae. This segmented design is just pure genius. It lets you stand upright, bend down, twist around, all while acting as an armored tube to protect the delicate spinal cord, which is that crucial bundle of nerves sending signals from your brain everywhere else. Okay, so the really wild thing about the rib cage is its flexibility. We usually think of cages as rigid, right? But yours is completely dynamic. It's got 12 pairs of flat, bow-shaped bones guarding your heart and lungs. Because of how it's engineered, it literally expands and contracts every single time you take a breath. And, fun fact, while the top 10 pairs connect to your breastbone in the front, those bottom 2 pairs, the ones we call floating ribs, they only attach to the spine at the back. It just gives you that much more functional movement. All right, section 3, limbs, girdles, and movement. Before an arm or a leg can do anything useful at all, it has to be firmly anchored to the main body. And that is exactly where girdles come in. A girdle is basically a specialized group of bones acting as the connection point for our limbs. We've got 2 main ones, the shoulder girdle, which uses your collarbones and shoulder blades to attach your arms, and the hip girdle, which provides this massive, sturdy base to anchor your legs. This is where the engineering gets super cool. Look at how similar the upper and lower body designs are. Whether it's the arm or the leg, nature uses this brilliantly consistent blueprint. They both start with one massive upper bone. In the leg, it's the femur, literally the longest and strongest bone you have. That single, heavy-duty bone connects at a joint, like your knee or elbow, to 2 parallel lower bones. In your arm, that's the radius and ulna. In the leg, the tibia and fibula. This split lower design is exactly what lets us twist our wrists and ankles with such amazing precision. Which brings us nicely to section 4, the magic of joints. We've basically got 4 primary movable joints working for us, and they are incredibly specialized. First, the ball and socket joint in our shoulders and hips, giving us a huge range of motion in almost all directions. Then we have the hinge joint. Just think of the door hinge action of your elbow or knee, swinging strictly back and forth. Next is the pivot joint, right at your neck, letting you rotate your head from side to side. And finally, the gliding joints in your wrists and ankles, where these flat bones just smoothly slide over each other for fluid movements. Now, obviously, if you just stacked a bunch of bones on top of each other, they'd collapse instantly. To keep these mechanical joints from falling apart the second you move, your body uses heavy-duty biological straps called ligaments. You can think of ligaments as incredibly tough, fibrous tissues that securely bind bone to bone. They provide the essential stability you need, holding the joint firmly together while still letting it do its specific job. Actually, hold on. It's pretty important to note that not all joints are meant to move. We broadly split them into movable and immovable joints. While the movable ones, like your knees and shoulders, definitely get all the glory when we're running or dancing, those immovable joints are just as vital. The joints permanently locking your upper jaw and the plates of your skull together, they offer pure, unyielding stability. They make absolutely sure your most vital organs stay protected under impact. And finally, Section 5, keeping your skeleton strong. Do a quick check right now while you're listening to this explainer. Are you slouching? Sitting up straight with your back aligned isn't just about looking confident. It literally prevents pain and takes the structural stress off your joints. Whether you're at a desk, standing, or just walking around, keeping your head up and back straight ensures that your bones, and not your muscles, are carrying the load exactly the way they were designed to. And of course, keeping the whole system strong requires the right materials. A lot of folks kind of think of bones as just, well, dry, dead sticks inside us. But no, bones are living tissue. They are constantly growing, renewing, and repairing themselves. To fuel that construction, you've got to provide the right building blocks. That means eating calcium-rich foods like dairy, leafy greens, seeds, and nuts. You also need vitamin D, mostly from the sun, so your body can actually absorb the calcium. Throw in some supportive shoes and active exercise like walking or jogging, which actually signals your bones to grow denser, and you are set. You know, our understanding of this unbelievable system didn't just happen overnight. We owe a massive debt to history's great minds. Take Leonardo da Vinci, for instance. He wasn't just a painter. The guy was a pioneering scientist and engineer. Centuries ago, his incredibly detailed drawings mapped out exactly how our bones and muscles function together as this perfectly engineered marvel. Da Vinci essentially saw the skeleton not just as basic biology, but as high art and complex machinery perfectly intertwined. His brilliant illustrations really helped demystify the human body for everyone, proving that we're built on a very logical, mechanical framework, one that requires balance and care to actually stay healthy. So I'm going to leave you with this final thought. You are essentially the pilot of an incredibly complex 206-piece living machine that is constantly rebuilding itself to keep you moving. Knowing what an architectural masterpiece your skeletal system truly is, what steps are you going to take today to protect it? Keep learning, keep moving, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.